Thank you all for being here for our monthly MOAD open mic. I'm thrilled that we have poet Tyanna Braswell featuring this evening. My name is Nia McAllister, and I'm the Senior Public Programs Manager at the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco. As we begin, I invite you to share in the chat where you're joining us from. As many of us are settlers, immigrants, or descendants of those forcibly brought to this continent, our institutions were founded upon the exclusions and erasures of the indigenous peoples on whose lands we are located. MOAD occupies the unceded land of the Ramaytush Ohlone people, and we pay our respects to the Ohlone people and their elders, both past and present, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. And though we're gathered virtually, we want to acknowledge these spaces that we're occupying. And we encourage all of you to learn more about the native lands that you occupy as well by visiting nativeland.ca. And we'll share that resource in the chat. Today's open mic is a monthly event, and it is a space for us to gather in community, to bring our full selves, all of the feelings that we're experiencing, the highs, the lows, the joy, the sadness, the grief. It's a space to recognize all those feelings and share in each other's company. And I want to emphasize that this space is one where we always tend to respect both our audience and everyone who is contributing to this space. And we do so in the importance of holding space for each other and continuing to create spaces to amplify Black voices. So for those of you who are new and those of you who are returning, I'm going to just give a brief overview of the logistics of the event, and then we'll get right into it. So thank you again for those who have signed up to read this evening. I'll be sharing in the chat the lineup in just a few moments, and I'll read out folks' names before it's your turn to come up. And if for some reason someone's not in the space when I call them up and they join later, we'll circle back to them. I ask that those who are not reading at the time, please keep your microphones on mute so we can best hear the people presenting. But since it's an open mic and it's a space to be interactive, I encourage you to use the chat, use the reactions, support and uplift all the people who are coming up to the mic this evening, because it can be a very vulnerable thing coming and sharing. So I encourage you to engage in all of those ways and support all of our performers this evening. And midway through our open mic, we'll again have our feature Tyanna Braswell read, and then we'll close out the event with our remaining open mic readers. And so with that, I would like to invite up Sarai Bordeaux to start us off.
Hi, everybody. Okay, this one is called Floodgate Simulation. If one more person tells me to feel my feelings, I'm gonna need a minute. Because when I am feeling my feelings, it's like, calm down. It's like, whoa, 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 why are you so upset? Because feeling my Black feelings is like an assault, and people have lost their lives for much less. Feeling is dangerous in public. Out loud is dangerous in public also, and no one cares to give that advice, this feel your feelings advice, until folks are older. Until the fire has boned out and we are all bitter and coping and colder. All of a sudden we're supposed to know, supposed to identify and acknowledge, but kids feeling their feelings is too much. There's not time. We're too sensitive. Again, doing too much. We should shut up about it. All this is making them soft. So then, instead of taking the time, looking into eyes, raising feeling children, there are now 5 adults chasing a 6-year-old around the playground because he told them no, because he won't go back to his class. No wonder he won't. He doesn't feel welcome there. What happens when he is too big for you to yell at? You've exhausted all your options before the end of 1st grade. No wonder the pipeline, the carceral state. Like, I understand educators' dedication, but what is it we are dedicated to? Because, like, if I see another Black kid in the back row of a kindergarten carpet, I'm gonna lose it. And isn't that part of the game? Me losing it with no insurance, no savings, can't afford the rent? Or the kids in the back row? I'm tired of this game. Is that the goal? Is this destined, this hidden curriculum, this policy, the ways you've tricked our loved ones into treating us? Colonization, education, this flood, what part of the gate is gonna crack? Which part of my back should be broken this time? What other risks should I take? How heavy are the waters? Same shit, different day, same flood, different state. I'm yelling now, not at the kids, but taking it out on loved ones, on myself, on my food and water intake. Waking up extra heavy now because I can't beat this level. I'm wondering what this glitch is, why my program isn't loading, why my cheat codes aren't working. Now that we've made it to higher education, going to school is useless. It's like we're playing an entirely different game. One some have already won, but only because others have lost and will continue to lose. Ways to inflict pain keep shifting. Like, what even is a whole self, and how can we be that without going to bat against this floodgate simulation, this domino effect, this knocking down? When will being proud be a reminder of something other than the fact that we were once owned? Like, seriously, like, what should we first teach our daughters? Why don't we know about what happened to Emmett Till's father? Wait a minute, can we pause the game to catch up, to step outside of this simulation, break this floodgate down, like even so-called safety outside February, please? There are literally many other months, and during each one, though most of what we want, it's safety, it's life or death out here, and folks are worried about a theory out here, have the nerve to say we are the ones that are in our feelings out here. Are you kidding me? Like, if one more person tells me to feel my feelings, I'm gonna need a minute. Because when we do be feeling our feelings and teaching and healing our feelings, all you can say is calm down. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarai. Thank you for starting us off. Next up, I would like to invite Norm Maddox up to the mic.
Wow, way to set the bar, Sarai. Sarai, that was wonderful. And I am feeling my feelings. And I'm gonna start my own set with this. Default instructions for disassembly, for reconstruction, for reformation. How to be colored. Watch the commercials. Open eyes wide. Purse red lips to show voluptuous curves. Erase pale pencil-thin lines. Show a toothy smile. Watermelon wide, while there's nothing to be happy about. How to be Negro. Look down to see where you are, beneath being seen, not quite invisible. Don't speak unless spoken to, like a child, seen and not heard. How to be a nigger. Feel uncomfortable because no one wants to be you or let you be you. Know your place across the tracks at the end of hope's rope. How to be Black, a color. Be dangerous. Wear a hooded sweatshirt. Be the rhyme that says you can read. Speak your mind for free. Say what needs saying and mean it. Be water tribe has been waiting to fall out of clouds. Be air uniforms want to squash from your lungs. Breathe life back from the dead. How to be Black, not a color. Be the light that fills the dark. Be the feeling people reach for when arms pull you close. Be the fire in the flame of the phoenix wings, rising from ashes, forever rising. How to be human. Compete with gravity. Magnetize love. Attract more love.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone. I just came up here.
Give love to yourself. Share love you're given. Hold space for others. Find balance in all the betweens. Next piece. Loving forward to the horizon. Writing about memories of a life I haven't lived yet. A vision of living forward, never looking back, and yet seeing a legacy of loving myself from beyond skin limits. In the grasp of another heart, my fingertips tingle. Electricity flows between polarities of negative and positive charges, feeling warmth and embrace from out of arm's reach. A harmony resounds, shared vibrations, one heartbeat away from synchrony. A place where tears, where understanding smiles, before sliding around dimples flowing into an ocean of breath. A chuckle grows in my chest, in the place where I used to worry about being enough, which is the same place as knowing I'm all there is for now. Peace.
Thank you so, so much, Norm. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Next up, I would like to invite El Akani. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna read two pieces. The first one is Molting. Skin. Shedding partners is excruciating for me. I attach so viciously even when I remind myself what it costs us. I have said many times, I belong only to myself. And maybe that is body armor. Soft insides need something stronger than just skin. Still, I am always the first to prove myself wrong, wanting to belong to every quickened pulse, every clutched breath, everything and everyone but myself. Skin. I am uncomfortable in my alone. I complain about my own smells and tastes and never take responsibility. I smell. It is the depression. It is the PTSD. It is the trauma. It is the endless pain of human existence. It is the knowledge that I will be alone even when I am in tight space with my most beloved. How do you wash that off? Never feeling connected to anything but aching. Skin. Some nights I attempt an internal cleansing, libations. 1 part vodka, 1 part ecstatic dance. I throw myself into a trance to forget the touch of new and old lovers. This old way of being in and yet out of my body. This old but new body of mine, this body of ours. You ask me to belong to you, to tell you I am yours. Skin. I am trying to tell you I belong to myself and to the murmur of elder trees, bark and branch for armor over my soft insides, a thick skin folding. I am trying to tell you I belong to the sun. Warm whispers of remembering. I am never alone. I belong to myself and to the every nothingness that is in and beyond these bodies of ours. This body of mine, after all is shed and done, skin. Okay, and the second one is dropped pin. I spent myself somewhere between consumption and assumption, fly's eye view, and a welcome dissolution. Another cycle of catch and release, this time with a little ease. To love you is to know you, is to want you, is to keep me at arm's length, at mountain's height, at river's width, at valley's depth. I wish we had the courage to walk a little closer. Caught myself somewhere between indecision and delicate precision, duck's eye view. I am face to face with another cycle of questions, crossing new dimensions. To find you to find me is to know we are not lost. At crossroads, at forked path, through dim tunnel and burned bridge, I've seen you, you've seen me, through, over, and over. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I love both of those poems. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing. Next up, I would like to invite Sylvia Blaylock up to the mic. Welcome, Sylvia.
Hello, Nia. Thank you so much for the invite, and hello, everyone. I'm going to do 2 poems. Okay. We are, okay, the first one is on a beach from now. We are on the eve of reprieve, some yet to grieve and be grieved. We've not yet forgotten the long, sad song. Pale gauze fingers catch the breeze and massage their way across a darkening bay. And dreams are flagging the rising moon. We shun the pull of the crowd, yet also we yearn to work it. We crave the closed circuit, the spontaneous bond of hospitality, burning cedar and beach bum gourmet. Dust the sands in human aromas, and human beings respond. Still the necessary distance, but grateful. Songs are sang and times were recalled. The embers called us to the world in a stolen dervish to the heavens. Portions brought were taken, for none could be shared. We drank honey wine to the rising sun, sang a prayer of thanks for healing congregation, random devotions, and organic grace. And that is that first piece. My second piece is Home for All Time. Brittle are the pavements that serve as living room, the curb that was once a gutter, now the high place, understanding that the actual gutter is further down and yet offers shelter. Such are the trappings that travel by urban stream, luck delivering an unprotected, untouched treasure that offers hope from a position up there. Impermeable is relative when living in real time. What acts as creature comfort fashion doubles as layered notable elsewhere. Best unseen, least value rated and found true. Best believe it will be taken from you. The shining lights and spans that welcome beguile with her rolling embrace. Diamond encrusted, barren breasted, foul smelling cleavage and pierced in inaccessible tips to the nips. Ma sagging embrace is still more than nothing. And I still beg the nurse from the milky fog at her skirts. I danced in the fountains on those days when mother smiles. Sunshine reveals her nurture, and even the jaded stranger dances in her hymn, and gold is showered in the spend. She taunts me that one day it will linger, that human kindness has found its way. Not today, if ever thus. And still, she is home for all time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Those were lovely. Thanks. Next up, I would like to invite Raymond Nat Turner up to the mic. Welcome, Raymond.
Oh, yeah, let me unmute. Okay. Boy. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Hello, Nia. How are you and the rest of the crew? Well, discombobulate. Let me get grounded here. I'm going to do two pieces, try to do two pieces anyways. The first is a short piece called Confession and epigraph quote, when buying and selling are controlled by legislation, the first things to be bought and sold are legislators, PJ O'Rourke, unquote. Councilmember XYZ, you said you'd support my measure. I lied. I keep my eyes on the prize. And during this most trying time, I can't be seen as soft on crime. I'm throwing my hat in the ring for a run for the mayor. Because really, it's from there I can have a bully pulpit, a really good fit, and get from under the gun and really get some things done, making meaningful, impactful policy that will help our people, all people. And I'll be in a position to help even more of our people, all people, as governor. Ain't gonna be no more gerrymandering with me in the State House. And when I run for Senate, I'll be in a position to help still more people, all people. Filibuster days are numbered with me, 1 of 100. But I'll tell you right now, I can't be soft on sanctions, weak with support for our fighting men and women around the world. Whoa, now what's with that sigh? Where's the nuance? You silly little communist side tells me that you don't understand politics as the art of compromise. Tell no lies, claim no easy victories. I'm about change you can believe in, not some damn sweet potato pie in the sky. And this next piece is for one of my mentors and big sister figures who just checked out in Los Angeles. Her name was Gail Davis, and she was, oh my God, she was part of an organization called the Radicals that was a precursor to the Los Angeles chapter of the Black Panther Party. And she was orphaned at a very early age, about 10 years old, and her mom had died when she was about 3 months, and then her father died when she was 18 months old, and then her grandparents by the time she was 10, so she was kind of on her own, and my mom sort of became a mom for her, and I read I found out a lot more about her in this book that my son wrote on my mom. My son's a professor at UMass Amherst. So this is called Bye, Big Sis. Cred before cried, RESPECT for the record. Feminist before we knew its name. Pre-Panther radical, Mama Harriet style. You packed that Luger before there was unpacking, centering, contextualizing. You trained with brothers who became BPP before there was intersectionality. You spoke Spanish, Swahili, handle your French, Italian, German, Arabic, crossing T's, dotting I's. But Kathy wrenched the gun from your hand, putting her children in your hands, weaponizing us instead of losing you, shooting some cop. Made you magnificent mentor, instead of middling martyr. Community building big sis that have forgotten number. We, younger brothers and sisters, stared as you strode lioness-like through sun shards on the stem, Bunchy's beloved Central Avenue. We watched how you navigated an apartheid city of angels ruled by devils, because we long to make you proud. We, younger brothers and sisters, watched as you walked the world down in wondrous ways from the feet of elder soldiers who fled up south from hell. We watched you seize the time as elder soldier, beautiful statuesque warrior woman, baddest, blackest fro this side of Angela. You came equipped, skill sets, talents taking you round the world in its wine, weed, drums, dance, food, fashion, funkiness, even pork chop torture. Your po kidneys pay or die disease care. We, younger brothers and sisters, watched you birth Black beauty into our chalky worlds. Our first live theater, sitting in the dark, eyes bugged out, hot young minds blown. You on stage, Baldwin's words in your mouth. You, sister boxer, Whitman Mayo, brother boxer, your husband. We, your amen corner for life.
Thank you so much, Raymond, for both of those poems and especially for that tribute. Thank you. So I'm going to share a couple of poems and then introduce our feature for this evening. So this first piece is Untitled, and last month, April, was Poetry Month, and a lot of people do those challenges where they write poems every day for each of the days of the month. And I wrote a poem on the very first day and then didn't write any other poems for the rest of the month. So this is my one poem from Poetry Month. Slow, turn inward, rest your lungs. A patient recovery awaits. Feel how the air stirs, your body an empty vessel waiting. Between cautious eyes and whispered cries, listen. The sick body still remembers how to dance. Soft footfalls dance upon hard wooden floors, absent of fear. To leap bravely and fall confidently into an unknown abyss. Where do we learn to fear uncertain footing, an unpredictable misstep? As if perfection were the first sequence our limbs learned to memorize. The only time I fell and did not get up, the body sighed. Pain as the only reminder that sometimes we do not return back to this earth. My body rests upon the hardwood, learning to bend not against, but with the air. Thank you. And also for context, it was a writing challenge where there were 15 lines and you start with one word and then keep adding words to each line. So the first line has one word and then the last line has 15 words. So that was a fun challenge for me. And the second poem I'm going to read is from a book that I was recently published in, which is very exciting. And I know some other folks who are either in this space or in this poetry community are also in it. It's called Painting the Streets. Ooh, it's going in and out of the camera. Sorry, everyone. Oakland Uprising in the Time of Rebellion. It's from Nomadic Press and Eastside Arts Alliance. And so this poem that's in this book is entitled Say Her Name. They locked up history today, barred the doors, threw away the key, and called her truth false. Four walls between her and her children said, hush. These walls not for talking, only home wrecking. Here we learn grievance cannot be rehearsed. Justice only got catcalled once today. Not bad for a missing woman. If she's invisible in the first place, who's to say she was ever here? Sis got taken too. So now we take to the streets saying, no justice, no peace. We yell our sisters' names against the chorus of what she have on, to which we cry, defiance. Oh, so she was asking for it? To which we remind them, nobody's got time to look inviting when there are revolutions growing beneath our tongues. What's that? You couldn't hear over all the white noise? Here we learn fragility doesn't listen anyways. So as history tells us, we must repeat ourselves. No justice, no peace. Thank you. That was very exciting for me, by the way, to read a book, read a poem of mine that isn't a book. So thank you for being a part of that experience. And with that, it is my honor to introduce our featured poet for this evening. Tyanna Braswell is a Black queer femme spoken word poet, Pan-Africanist, and spiritualist born and raised in Bay Area. Her work spans from several tours of California and beyond, as well as collaboration with major and upcoming recording artists. She serves communities of people of color through her work with youth, underserved families, as well as within her spiritual community. She aims to use her platform to speak to, with, and for the marginalized identities she exists within, as well as to stand against those who contribute to the terror in the world. With every offering, she hopes to be welcomed and held by open hearts, minds, and ears, aiming to leave all with grace, as well as call towards radical honesty, compassion, and accountability to themselves and the communities who need it most. Welcome, Tyanna.
Hi, blessings. How are y'all? Also, I waited to come to let you guys know it's Tyanna, but y'all can just call me T. I'm very happy to be joining y'all today. I'm calling in from Atlanta, Georgia. I actually just recently relocated here and was kind of bummed about, getting to join all the things that I want to do in the Bay Area, which is home to me. But lovely, we have this virtual space that we can do things like this. So I'm gonna get straight into it. And I hope that y'all, as mentioned before, are open with your hearts, minds, ears, and ready to receive. These are just offerings. So this is called Flashy Words. Flashy words are but a way to document the magic, but spirit never needed words. In fact, it is most sacred in its silence, in its inability to shake us all, bring us to our knees and accept that we need not carry so much to prove that it is real. The flashy words are the glitter. And though shimmer is splendid, it can make quite a mess, so much to be responsible for, so little to take back into our tongues. There is something so sweet about one who dares dance with the wind, who listens for its echoes and delights in its play with every movable thing, and the flashy words can never tell the full truth of what it feels like to see, or what it feels like to be in such a love with this everlasting living. But us poets, we gonna try. So that's that piece. This is a short one, with reason. So I'm just gonna keep going with all of this. So here we go. Is this how you silence a Black woman? Still another Black breath. Ask us to speak up for us and make echo of what we've said already. What more can we say? Our rage is deafening, our cry unheard. So much grief, we've become speechless. We are speechless. Is this how you silence us? So there's that. So this next one, I love when I was a child, my favorite childhood book was The Very Hungry Caterpillar, just because I really loved like the art and everything in the book and everything. So I also find a lot of correlations that I don't have time to really talk about right now, but between Black people and butterflies. So a lot of that is like a recurring theme inside of my work. And so this is in homage to The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And so here it goes. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and out of the egg came a tiny, very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through an apple. "I'm still hungry," he said. My uncle, he refuses to eat peach cobbler and chitlins and yams and things he calls slave food. He says that's what slaves would make of the gatherings of their leftovers from the meals made for the master. The peaches were bruised, the scraps of dough, the belly of the pig, the things unworthy to a man's tongue. I tell him with all my might to pull the weeds of anti-Blackness from his tongue and his gut. Uncle, ain't it something? We can make even the most bitter of truths taste good. Just add a bit of flavor, maybe some sugar, maybe some elbow grease, some put her foot in that, maybe some good love and faith in something. Now it is a meal. Now we can feed ourselves. Now we call this soul food. How many leftovers can touch our chrysalis palms and become something better than before? The caterpillar had to believe it would grow its wings before it did, and in due time it can fly further than its legs could ever take it. Something better we become, somewhere further we can go. And when we get there, we find how innovative of ourselves, how immortal we are in all the ruins which we exist, all the madness that made music, all the murder that made movement, all the hurt that made hope, all the damage that made us dance, all the sorrow that made us sing louder as the spirit leads. We be damn good at this magic, at this untamed and wild faith, at this immortality, at this flying with these wings and putting soul food on the table for a Sunday dinner for a hungry heart to help itself, for the very hungry caterpillar to get all it needs, to be full and be better and be butterfly. Oh no. Hello? Where'd it go? my screen went away. I didn't know if I was still here. Thank you, y'all. So that's that piece. Let's get into a few more. I think it's important to understand that, you know, when it comes to being a Black queer person, that my queerness is never separate from my Blackness, and the erasure of queer people within Black history is, for lack of better words, disgusting. And I think that it's important to share that we exist, number one, but also that we are human and we deserve to be acknowledged in our stories of our joy and our like resilience, like also deserve to be heard. So this one is called The Best Part. Just give me 1 second so I can pull up this. Sorry, technology is not my forte. Okay. There's also the song that I wrote this to is from the film If Beale Street Could Talk. The song is called Agape, and it's composed by Nicholas Britell. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. You part your legs. I pull up a pillow and sit between them. You part my hair and oil my scalp like we tracing lines to freedom. There is love here. It feels easy and we laugh at whatever's on the TV. When I can see it, you tell me, tilt your head this way, stare, concentrated, comb in your mouth, fingers spread across my forehead, trying to make sure that my part is straight and even. We celebrate this little grip of hair that I grew. Finally got enough of some cankalon to hold on to. Finally got enough grip on myself for you, like look what commitment do. Look what working with what you got gets you. We get a chance to lock eyes in the midst and you tell me something like, good heavens, you fine as hell. Smile, kiss my forehead, call me mama like I know conceiving well, a small achievement, but a symbol of growth. And you've been here since I was too scared of stuck, and I'd cut and dye my hair about twice a month, but I took an oath to stop turning to the same way to cope. I learned patience with this process, with this unlearning what used to be enough reasons for running away. You make me want to stay, face all my fears and plant myself here and grow and wither and curl and gray through years of getting to know myself again and again. And in each version of me, I find in you both lover and friend, with a comb and hands and oil for my scalp. Fertile soil for me to grow in and bloom my way out. I can't imagine anyone being so unwilling to love like this. But today I don't want to think about it. I just want to do what lovers do when people who love each other. You feel so good to touch, feel so good to lean upon and trust. And who got faith in me, who got faith in love, like some Moses who parts Red Sea, but your staff be rat tooth comb and finger. And my God, I would follow you 40 years to promised land, willing to get there hand in hand. You hum whatever song is on your heart, whatever gospel, good news of God, snap rubber band in between your teeth. And just like all the things I believe in, but I cannot see, I know that you are there. I feel what you are doing. I trust in every card that you create on the surface of my skull. So when someone with the smell of mockery more than curiosity on their breath dares more than cares to ask me, so what do women who love women do? I will tell them this story about you. My lover parts their legs. I'll pull up a pillow and sit between them, part my hair and oil my scalp like we tracing lines to freedom. Thank you. So that's that piece, y'all. How we doing? We doing good? So I have like two more, if time allows. If not, feel free to stop me. I am a practitioner in the African traditional religion. And in my experience, I've learned and seen over time a correlation throughout different religions, that anything that Black people practice in order to liberate themselves is demonized. Even the ways that Black people practice Christianity. And I think it's interesting, right? Anyway, so with that, I have found many correlations between what I practice and how I was raised, and that it doesn't matter where I go, that being a Black person and connecting to spirit is always going to be seen as something that is bad, because it is something that saves us. So this is that. They will call our own labor witchcraft. The birthing of our babies blasphemous. Blackness and bloodshed cannot be human, must be conjuring unless it leads towards death. They think there must be some sort of evil we've got going on in here. Fearful of what is making us virtually immortal to this hell inflicted upon our lives. It ain't no birth from God. That's what they say. We must know Jesus, must find salvation in Jesus, like they don't feast on the flesh and blood of Black man that God so loved the world enough to sacrifice. They will think of our blood as victory only upon their hands, but rob us of the right to clean our own wounds, hold our own children newly birthed from our wombs without a price tag on it. They will call our labor witchcraft, our affinity with rooted nature, our willingness to work with the soul of soil and all that feeds and grows within it in order to find God. Tell us complete obedience is the only way. Call God's judgment their reason for the massacre, the torture, the burden placed upon our shoulders with nothing to work with but our bodies. And when we dance, a vessel of our own humanness coexisting with divine and Holy Spirit, they will call our dancing witchcraft, our drumming witchcraft, our call loud enough to bring ancestor down to earth to greet and eat and teach once again, still so connected and certain and working. They will call our labor witchcraft, the blood of our wombs, the movement of spirit from source into flesh, how we open portal and bring forth the love that this earth has for us. Then they wonder why the storms follow, why the fires burn, why the earth shakes, unsettled the faults along their fault lines, and how we have survived this long but some sort of ungodly magic. How we have needed no more than what God gave us dominion of to be alive, to stay alive. How are we alive? We give thanks to the Black magic womb and man. We give thanks to tears of our ancestors and work of our ancestors, the seeds they planted that have been rooted in the palms of our hands. And if our labor be the craft of witches, may a witch be the artist appointed by God. For how colorful we have painted the world and made safe once more to live within. So that's that piece, y'all. So this one is in homage. I was raised a Christian, and regardless of any religion that there is to practice, and there's plenty of them, and there's plenty of belief systems, I believe all paths lead to God. And I would be wrong in my own existence to not acknowledge and give honor to where I came from. And so I think that that's an important element to connecting with spirit as a Black person, is understanding that it doesn't matter how we do it and in which way that we do it, all paths lead to God, and all of them free us. So this is for my Christian grandmother. I am a humble heart, birthed from the palms of a praying grandmother. Her womb, my first sanctuary, where love first opened us, stilled our hearts long enough to hear God's hands on the drum. And like drum, I am a beating heart, often racing, often chasing for bigger and better, but never just for myself. For the wealth of my children and their children and their children, I am one small piece of a bigger picture, a verse half complete in a bigger scripture. A rose bloomed from concrete soil that never withers, stemmed from a thorny crown. I am hollering on Sunday, butterscotch in Granny's purse pocket, a little something sweet to keep the focus on the good word of God, anointed handkerchief. Olive oil on a thumb placed on my forehead, sharp tongue speaking, God tongue preaching, grace reaching its hands laid over me where tambourines and tambours meet, where the enemy's rooftop meets the power of stomping feet. I smell like brown hands and magnolia. I smell like I am held close. My body be Black girl, be both host for both Orisha and Holy Ghost, just depends on where God calls me today. And when my ancestors call me to pray, I get down on my knees in the altar and aisle of wherever they see fit, knowing to thank them for both their grace and my wit. I am forever connected and never split. I am first giving honor to God. A warm meal after service. This is beyond blood bond. This is worship. This is living. This was written, planted in the soil and carried across the seas, a proof that we don't die. We are an interruption, a reproduction of an unspoken truth, a breath into existence, a be and it was. As below, it is so above. Heaven knows my name, everyone that they called me. I am somebody's baby. I am a loving heart, birthed from the palms of a praying grandmother. Her womb, my first sanctuary, where love first opened us. So that's that piece, y'all. All right. Okay, we're gonna get into, I wrote this at a time, this was when Breonna Taylor was murdered. I didn't have anything at the time to my name. I didn't have anything to offer. I didn't have anything that I felt I could give. And I heard a voice in my mind that had said that, you know, sometimes prayer is all that you do have, but give what you have. And so this is a prayer that goes beyond her, and it goes to all of the Black women around me. And yeah, it makes me emotional, so we're just gonna get into it. I hope they don't kill you because you Black today, or woman. I hope they see you as somebody's child, as creation from the same source as them. I hope the day sees you worthy of it, keeps you safe and sane and unafraid. I hope hope is enough. I hope prayer is enough. I hope fear leaves your body when you leave this world. I hope the same joy finds the woman that once found you as little girl. I hope your magic is still Black and not seen as evil. And that if you don't have it today, that it's okay to just be a person amongst people. I hope the world shows you how much it needs you. I hope your Black don't break the laws. And that being Black and woman don't make you a martyr for a cause. I pray you rest, that you enjoy whatever pieces that you got left, that at least one moment finds you, that you don't have to fear being next. I pray your mama's hands cover you. I pray your best friends love on you. I pray your daddy's protection upon you. I pray the revolution don't give up on you. I pray you believe in every ounce of goodness that anyone has ever told you. I pray there is someone there to hold you when you don't feel like being strong. And if you want to dance or sing or cry or drive or be alive or be queer or be here or go home or be left alone or sleep or sleep or sleep, I pray the day lets you. I pray that mercy never forgets you. I pray for you the little things, like your flowers while you're still here, and that the sun kisses your brown skin gold. I pray you grow old. I pray you grow real old. I mean real old. I mean real old. I mean old enough for your babies to hear the stories told from your mouth. I pray your house is home enough to keep you safe. I pray your justice is served every day and that it ain't too late. I pray that you know that you are loved, even if you were made prisoner of hate. I pray you escape this place as the master of your own fate and the captain of your own ship with the same purity you had while your mama held you on her hip. I pray you get to be both Black girl and soft, that the amazing grace ain't lost. I pray change don't cost your blood on their hands. I pray all of your plans are executed. I pray you are not executed. I pray that your Black don't give them no excuses to use their gun to shoot for fun. I pray this prayer ain't a useless one, and that God hears us when we say your name. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the world learn to love you as much as we do. So that's that piece, y'all. Sorry, I haven't, it's been a minute since I've shared these, but I think that they're important. I'm gonna end with this one and then we'll get back into it. Are we good on time for that? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. So this is called The Water. I hear their voices say, it's okay to trust this place. The earth will catch our fall. For some of us, the wind, the fire, the river, the ocean, wherever self and salvation meet our feet, daring to convince us of what we've only seen with our soul. Never having jumped before, what made us fuss with a readiness to die? Led us to an eternal living. The ancestors are on our side, within us, interwoven in our fingers, imprinted upon the spirals of each tip, directing our bodies to dance, to sing, to trust, and rejoice that our mothers and their mothers have always known best. In this space, in time, we get a chance to be something more than a portal. We bump clumsily into everything that entertains our longing, becoming portal again, begging to be taken back, to be flesh and vessel for spirit to move, but what good are wants built upon absent needs? But a bit more to survive around, a bit more that we haven't justified burning into ruins for. a bit more that keeps the phoenix from rising, a bit more to return home to. Across oceans we go, making mirrored maps of the promised sky where there is a secret and sacred that keeps us safe. Ancient and angelic, open arms to cradle us, a space infinite, finally feeling the suppleness of our youth and taking our time. This is the free fall. Some say our only experience of flight. But don't it feel good to know that we got wings after all? So thank y'all. Blessings to y'all all. I hope that you have a great rest of your evening, and I'm excited to hear the rest of you guys go. So
thank you so much, T. That was absolutely beautiful. All the pieces, all that you offered and shared in this space. I feel like it's touched me, and so many people in the chat as well are affirming that. So thank you for being here and for featuring. And before we start the second half, I always like to invite our features, if there's any way people can either continue seeing your work, supporting what you do, if you have things that are coming up next that you would like to invite folks to, this is your moment to plug yourself. And you're welcome to put it in the chat as well too, either way.
oh yeah, I put my social media handle in the chat. That's usually where I'll post like any upcoming things that I have. You're more than welcome to contact me on there if you would like to. I have a few performances coming up for Juneteenth, and I'll be posting the flyers for all of that also on Instagram. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And everyone, please continue supporting T's work. All right, I'm going to post in the chat the second half. We have a few more folks who are going to close us out this evening. I would like to invite up Avacha to start off our second half.
Okay, yeah, I'm unmuted. Hey, folks, thank you so much for having me, and thank you, T. It's good to meet you. And wow, what can I say? I have two, a longer one and a short one. This poem that I'm gonna read, I very seldom read it because it was written to a woman that, as far as I was concerned, one of the greatest poets that ever lived that nobody ever heard of. And she was around LA for a while, and she was back home in New York for a while, and she scared people because she was absolutely brilliant. I mean, really brilliant. In fact, she was told on a regular basis that she was too brilliant, too smart for a woman, and that she shouldn't say the things that she said. She was so far ahead of most of us, but she had this radiant smile. I never will forget, she was blue-black with these gigantic earrings and had this radiant smile. And so I wrote this for her. Her name was Candida, and she was either from Panama or maybe Cuba. Candida smile for all the great women writers lost in the void, because she eventually was thrown into insane asylum. Her crime was being too smart for being a woman, a Black woman. Candida smiled, and a poem poetess was born, curandera, real medicine woman, born of tears and painful frustration. Yeah, it took all that to create that smile, that poem. Folks that know quote the process, labor, pains. Candida smiled and her poetry exploded, lit up the whole sky, brighter and more terrible than the sun's laughter on the hottest day. Warming bones frozen by aluminum city madness and blister burning jive behinds when necessary. Candida smiled. Her poem, sunny, warm, angry, caring, her poem about rebuilding, about responsibility, about magical love, about genocide and recreation. Her poem about gentleness, about cultural rape, about respect and you and me and a Love Jones for Black people. Candida smiled, a poem, and I listened. Drunk with pride and power, I had to testify, had to shout, had to jump up and knock on wood in this plastic coated world. Her poetry sang the truth. A beautiful bad sister, painting pictures with her words. I hope she really heard herself before she disappeared and got lost in that same old woman devouring fog with all the other sisters that could have been. before we had sense enough to grab her hand and let her know that we were listening to her rhythm and growing with every word she said. God knows, I hope she found courage enough to let herself hear herself before she faded into the forgotten. But it's never too late. And there's always another brilliant sister standing right next to you, an unsure literary Amazon wobbling on the precipice of fear, fear of herself, fear of success, fear of the ramifications of her own ingenious creativity. Check her out for yourself. Don't let her fall through the cracks. Let her know that you know and you refuse to let her go. Let her know our world needs the medicine of her gift, that we've got her back. And this time when something powerful happens inside her soul, she won't be alone, won't have to be scared, and won't have to fight that feeling together. I said, together, we're going to shout the news out loud. We're going to let the whole planet know Candida smiled, a poem, an awe-inspiring, brilliant poem that's guaranteed to make you proud and strong enough to say it loud this time. We're going to make sure she feels secure enough to flaunt the beautiful but demanding creativity and alive inside her mind this time. We're going to make sure she knows we're going to be there when she needs a little help to let it flow, to make it grow. We're going to be right there to help her stand tall and make it happen. And this last one, it's called, it's in Spanglish. It's called Canto de un Sueño Realizado, or I sing about a dream come true. And negra, if you come from a Black Caribbean kind of thing, negra not only means Black in the right mouth, it also means beautiful, it means darling, it means sweetheart, means loved one. And then of course in the bad mouth, in the sick mouths, you know what it means. But anyway, so Canto de un Sueño Realizado, I sing about a dream come true. Because you know, one time we weren't even supposed to even say the word. Get punched out, a guy calling somebody Black. Yo soy la negra, a precious jewel, hidden beauty, the hidden beauty that Helena Rubinstein has tried for 100 years to find in one of her plastic bottles. Yo soy la negra. Mine is a smile that has driven whole populations insane, from Dar es Salaam to San Juan, from the world's wealthiest palaces to the poorest of slums. Yo soy la negra. I am the gentle fire they tried to drown in all their disguised lies of individuality and unasked for gifts of chains and slavery, only to discover that my soul is not a bargaining chip and my courage is non-negotiable. La negra soy yo, today, tomorrow, and yesterday, always and forever, eternamente indominable. I am the daughter of the mother of dreams, the giver of life, to the love of life, this earth, and our children's freedom. Una joya preciosa soy yo, an army of one inside an army of truth-bearing Amazons, a blossoming army of millions, and we're coming Black. Black, 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 sí. Sin duda ella soy yo, proudly and beautifully Black. An inescapable fact, and like the darkness of the night sky, there is absolutely no way anyone can negate that. Thanks for listening to my words. I'm going to put our poetry series in the chat, and please join us the fourth Saturday of the month. And also my book is being reprinted with 50 more poems in it, and a couple of CDs that I'm on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Avacha. Those were wonderful. And thank you again for also sharing the events that you have coming up. Everyone, please support Avacha's events as well. Next up, I would like to invite Dion Jamal up to the mic. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Oh my goodness, amazing. So I'm in between fixing some dinner for like 5 teenagers. So bear with me. This first piece is dedicated to my mama. It being Mother's Day last weekend. I wrote this a while back, but here we go. It's called Billie Jean's Son. There's a beautiful chocolate woman inside this real man. She be mama. Beautiful even while licking her thumb to wipe fitful sleep from not so eager to comply, copycat almond eyes. Her Pall Mall smoke snaking around regime-laced libations, poured from the cask of Black survival, held in the clenched fist in this OG 500-pound-a-day cotton-picking mother, dealing with a world of motherfuckers. Beautician by trade, empress by skin, slave by law, my better half. There's a beautiful woman inside this real man. She be mama, beautiful. This last piece, I had to go back home a couple of days ago. You know, home sometimes can bring up a lot of issues. And Lord knows my issues got tissues. So this is called 4/17/22. Drifting on a memory. Lavender and pink are the colors I choose. From a place you never heard of or know far too well, where train tracks sever the copper spines of atrophied Yokut land, dividing blue-collar hopes from off-white perspectives. Here, jam-colored dreams of apartheid survivors black pepper her vast cosmos with prayer-kissed possibilities. Possibilities, Paul. When Granny's love was the shade the grease used to salve fists. I'm from Tap Tap When It Itch, Love Made You Rich, Domino Games, soul-colored cornmeal fried fish, piles of collards in various hues of emerald and indigo, like the methadone used to cure mama's demons. Demons that turn chocolate souls to rojo as the crystal hot sauce I drown them in. It's on the corner of Rose and Sapphire with sweet potato flesh royalty living on borrowed time of a borrowed deity. I'm told, called agape, peach cobbler, a la mode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for both of those pieces. Thank you. And to close us out this evening, I would like to invite up Tarita McCall. Welcome, Tarita.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hi. Wow. I'm glad I got in just to hear the feature. Such a tender, powerful soul. I know that growth, that, you know, it's so familiar and sweet. And we were just talking about everyone that comes through their own religion. And then that's why I question what I write all the time, because why does it come out like that? But anyway, that's another story. And I'm going to address, oddly enough, what Avacha was addressing. And I when she began reading, I said, oh my good, that's first poem. That's the one I'm talking about. So here it goes. The spelling bee. At the spelling bee, the 12-year-old white male child stood before them, awaiting his word assignment. Stern, stone-faced, blonde, elder female begins. Time to start. The four judges eye one another and nod. Bell rings. Judge says, spell negas. Negas? Child repeats. Yes, negas. Negas? He wonders. 11s form between his pale blue eyes. As young ears hear possible implications. Negas? He softly says to himself. Eyes jaunting right to left, ashamed of what he's thinking. The child stutters, asking, can you use it in a sentence, please? Yes. Negus, an Ethiopian king, a sovereign, a self-governing person of Ethiopia. Negus, the child repeats. The judge says, can you say it loudly, please? He frowns, pushing condemned uncertainty from his mouth. Negus? Child then spells Negus. Correct, the judges say. Child's eyes saucer wide, watching. I had nearly forgotten my Ethiopian friend's name, Nega. He said his name means first light. And that's that poem. And then the other one is a short Mother's Day poem. Mother's Day. I am your mother. I birth you 24/7, 365 days of the year. But you're gonna honor me for 24 hours? I'm not even mentioned in the Holy Trinity. It's the Father, Son, and God ghosted me. Mary said, can't be no ghost. You gotta be a spirit. Can't be no ghost. But I'll explain that later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tarita, for both of those pieces and for joining us. I know you've been hopping between different Zoom poetry events this evening, so thank you so much for being here.
Sure, thank you.
And I want to thank all of our readers this evening. This was an absolutely wonderful night of poetry, and thank you again, T, for featuring. It was so wonderful to hear your poetry in person to some extent. But thank you so much for sharing in this space, and all of our audience as well. These events and the spaces that we create really are a collaborative effort, both of our readers and everyone who is listening. So thank you for being here and uplifting each other. And this is a monthly series, so I encourage everyone to continue engaging with the programming that we're doing at MOAD. Come to our next open mic. It will be on June 16th. It will be virtual again, and our feature will be KB Brookins, and we'll share that link in the chat as well. Before we close out, I do want to say again, support MOAD, come to our programs, become a member, make a donation. Any and all ways of showing up and supporting the work that we do really go a long way. And lastly, we do have a program survey that was just shared in the chat. So if you have a few moments to just fill out your thoughts and feedbacks about the program, we do appreciate that, and it helps us know what future programming to do and how to best support you, our community. So thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night and hope to see you soon.